everybody, you're tuned in to 91.8 Fan. This is Kana, and you're on my corner, and I'm sorry for any technical difficulties we're having, but that's live radio. Anyway, I have an awesome guest here, and she's not a couch potato, or I don't even think she's a geek either, like most of our guests, but thank you very much for being on the show. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, this is Stephanie Tait here from Run for One Planet.
And now, could you explain a little bit about what Run for One Planet is to those who don't know about it?
Sure. Well, Run for One Planet started with a big dream that I had with my partner in crime, Matt Hill, and Matt and I, starting in May of 2008, we laced up our running shoes after a year and a half of training, and we ran ourselves across the distance of Canada, starting in Vancouver to Newfoundland, and then we hung a right and we ran all the way down the east coast of America to Florida, hung another right and ran across the south all the way to San Diego, and hung our final right and ran up the west coast of America. So it was a total of 11,000 miles, or just over 420 marathons in total, all to inspire environmental action. So we've been back for a year now, and our legacy continues with all the funds that we raised on tour, and it's continue to educate people on the simple things they can do to take care of the health of the planet.
Now, I have to say that is an amazing achievement. I can barely run to my mailbox. I don't see how you could do that every day.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I look back at that, I'm like, how on earth did we do that? It does seem out of body. And it kind of was. Our dream, our goal, and our ambition was so big that we were really, our physical and mental abilities were catapulted to a whole new level that neither of us had experienced before. It was truly an incredible experience of what being alive is really all about.
And now, how did you prepare for something like that, or did you just say one day, I'm going to do this?
Well, both actually. Literally, I mean, we both, Matt and I, have been thinking about the bigger purpose of our lives and how we could really give back. And Matt has been a successful voice actor for the last 20-some-odd years, and I've been a successful business coach and speaker. And we were kind of looking at, like, okay, what else can we do? What else can we do? And, really learning about what was going on with the state of our environment was a huge wake-up call for us. We just finished watching Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth, and it was like, wow, what are we doing for the health of the planet? We hear about global warming and climate change and everything that's going on, and we really just felt like we could do more with our lives than what we were already doing. And so there it was on a fated trail run in Burnaby, British Columbia, where just outside of where we're from, that we decided to take everything to the next level, and we decided to start training for this 11,000-mile run around the continent to inspire environmental action.
And now, with training, what did that entail? Was that just running around some more?
Kind of, yeah. In its most simplistic sense, I have to say yes. But to be honest, before this, I'd actually never run a marathon before. I was always a 10-kilometer specialist, or as Matt affectionately says, I was a weekend warrior. And because that's pretty much when I ran. And so we started at 10 kilometers and, pretty quickly got up to the half marathon distance. And then shortly thereafter, again, it was really with the vision and the goal that we had to inspire environmental action that we were able to, in fairly short order, take ourselves up to the marathon distance. And I mean, honestly, I really don't take it lightly that it was the passion and for the bigness of our vision that allowed us to put in extraordinary amounts of effort and passion behind every single step that we took. And, before we knew it, it was, we were up at that marathon level. And, on average training weeks, we would train for anywhere from 100 to, on accident, we had a 140-mile training week where we put in a little bit extra than necessary. But, we got to the point where in May of 2008, after a year and a half of really intense training, we were ready to run anywhere from 4 to 5 marathons every week for a year.
Oh, wow, that is just mind-blowing to me. I can't even imagine it. Was there any time during, the big run that you ever thought, like, oh, I can't go on?
Well, I did get to a point fairly early on where it was like, wow, I'm really tired. This is taking so much energy out of me. But it was interesting because again, because of the cause and the passion of which we were running for, the energy that and I know I can speak on behalf of Matt as well, the energy that we got out of what we were doing from the people and the children's lives that we touched outbalanced or outweighed the fatigue that set in, or in the earlier days. Because, on the road, on our rest days, we would stop and do community events, or we'd speak. Throughout the tour, we spoke at over 220 schools, and we reached over 35,000 kids with our message of action. And at most of those events, save maybe a couple, but at most of the events, it was, they were so energizing that afterwards, I should say, before we'd go in and we're like, oh my God, I'm so tired, just finished running a marathon yesterday and a marathon the day before, and I know I got to run another marathon tomorrow. But then we'd go into these events and we'd just be lifted up by all the kids' energy, and just hearing them about what they were learning and what they were taking away, it allowed us to tap into a whole new energy reserve that I don't think either of us even knew existed within ourselves before.
Oh, that's really sweet, actually. And I'm sure you guys really depended on each other, pumping each other up, making sure that, you were taking care of one another and everything through the run, correct?
Oh, big time. Yeah. We took care of each other, and we also had an amazing crew as well who came along in our RV that we retrofitted to be as green as can be. And we had an amazing home team as well, working out of their homes in areas across Canada and actually around the world. We had my mom who lives in Hong Kong. I took her out of retirement, as I say, so she was on our team, and then we had a couple people in America. And, in total we had just over 30 people who were volunteering for us, some on a very full-time basis. And we all really supported each other. And, the neat thing was that it really became about everybody's dream. Like, it really did. People really started to own this dream that we happened to start and we happened to literally be running for. But they made it their own, and we all supported each other in realizing this big, hairy, audacious goal that everybody called theirs.
And now that you've done it, is there anything that you would change about the event, or is this something you would say would be one of the most one of the best things you've ever done in your life?
Oh, it was by far one of the best things I've ever done, ever in my life. I literally cannot imagine topping it. It's one of those things that it's, this is what life is made for kind of things. Would I change anything? Of course. There would be many things that I would do differently. As we just learned so much. There's no way we could have really prepared to go out there. If we really needed to have everything we needed and know everything that we needed, we would never leave, literally, because there's just so many things that we could never know, and that we were still learning on. We're still learning now. Would I do it again? If I could go back in time on that tip trail on December 9th, 2006 and make the decision to do it again or not, absolutely, I'd jump in.
And I think that's a really amazing feat. And for everybody listening, we're going to take a short break, but keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan, and we'll find out just a little bit more about this awesome event. Because you know what? You guys aren't off your couches on this. You're just listening to the radio. That's all I got to say.
Yo, Anaquel Kid, if you like games, I like games. Would you want to buy your games at some crappy, I'm not going to name it, game store? No, you wouldn't. You would buy games at Game Tag because that's the place to buy your games. You would rent games at some other crappy, I'm going to leave it unnamed, game rental place? No, you wouldn't. You would rent your games at Game Tag because all their used games are rentable. Do that.
Hey everybody, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. You're still here in my corner, and I still have my guest in my corner, and we were talking behind the scenes about how a day was named after this.
Sorry, could you say that again? It just cut out.
Oh, no, I understand. It's all right. We were talking behind the scenes how a day was named after this.
Yeah, it was really cool, actually. It was on the final day when we ran home after the big 11,000-mile run, and it was such a big day, and I guess that we made such an impact on the city of Vancouver that on that day, the mayor of Vancouver announced that perpetually May 8th will be Run for One Planet Day, officially in the city of Vancouver. So this last year, or just this past May 8th, 2010, we celebrated again the second annual Run for One Planet Day, and we had this neat little community event in Kitsilano, and Yes, I mean, if people want to find out more about Run for One Planet and Run for One Planet Day, certainly encourage them to go to the website at runforoneplanet.com and, find out what Run for One Planet's really about. It's really about you, the listener, and the people taking small daily steps for the health of the planet and really pitching in to create more of the world that we want to live in. Matt and I we talk about our motto was small steps add up, or it is small steps add up, because that goes into account for the steps that we took all.
Oh, it seems we might have just gotten disconnected. Let me see here. Yes, we have. So we're going to go to a very short break. Make sure to stay tuned to 91.8 Fan. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
All you have to do is answer the phone.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Is this 918 the Fan?
No, this is Patrick.
Are you sure this isn't 918 the Fan?
No, this is Patrick.
Look, I'm pretty sure this is 918 the Fan.
No, this is Patrick.
Patrick, that's the name of the restaurant.
Huh?
And we're back again. I'm just deciding to scare my guests today by dropping calls and all that fun stuff. But would you be willing to pick back where you left off? You were talking about your motto?
Sure. We were talking about how small steps add up. And, it's funny, we came up with the motto of small steps add up when we were running across the prairies. And, it was early on in our journey. We were about a month or so out. And, you could see the expansive prairies across us. And literally, they say you lose your, if your dog runs away, you can still see him a week later. It's so true. If you go into the prairies, it's like you can just see as far as the eyes can see, like the Arizona desert, as we saw later on. And anyways, when we were running there, it was like, you know what? We are accomplishing this one small step at a time, and all of our steps are really adding up. I mean, we've already run from Vancouver all the way into the prairies just by our little feet. And so we coined the motto, small steps add up, because we realized that throughout the journey that small steps add up not only accounted for the 420-odd marathons that we ran throughout the year and completing those, but also for the environmental action that we were encouraging people to take. And, that we realized and really strongly believe that creating more of the world and planet that we want to create is about the small daily steps that each and every one of us takes that's really going to help to make a difference.
Now, I actually know what you mean by the prairies because I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, so I know how the desert is. I'm surprised you didn't die in the desert.
It was really, really hot, actually. I got to the point where my entire body was just covered in zinc oxide. And interestingly, like literally my entire body, I was just white, and they call me the mime. And but interestingly is in the desert, we both sustained major and / minor injuries throughout the way that never stopped us from moving ahead. But when we were in the desert, Matt's hip got jammed up into his socket, and there was nobody and nothing around to help him out. And so from Hobbs, New Mexico to San Diego, California, he was relegated to having to walk because that was the only way that he could move forward. And so he literally walked from Hobbs, New Mexico, 14 marathons in a row all the way to the Pacific Ocean that we hadn't seen in 10 months. So he couldn't have experienced the desert any more intensely than he did. He would literally get up in the morning and just walk for the entire day. So small steps added up for that one.
Owie! That's all I have to say to that one.
Oh, big time. Actually, if people go to runforoneplanet.com and you go to the photo gallery, we're doing lots of youth leadership conferences and events these days, and just continuing to spread our message with our presentations. And in the back end of our presentations, we got a slideshow that goes on because we took hundreds and hundreds of photos throughout the trip, and a couple of times the photos that we took were of Matt's feet. And they got so blistery, and you could always tell when that photo is up in our presentation because people are like, oh, that's so bad, and we could be in like a really emotional, deep part of our presentation, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's up,
Now, I'm curious, do you guys do the social media thing, like the Twitter and the Facebook?
We focused mostly on the tour on direct outreach because we had such a big team that they could literally go from town to town, city to city, state to state, province to province, and contact every single person that we needed to directly. And we did certainly have a Facebook and and a Twitter account going, but we didn't focus a ton on it. In all honesty, we focused most of our attention on having direct contact and events with people. We just found that for us that was more of what the tour, where we resonated.
Oh, no, I understand. And is there anything else you want to tell the listeners out there?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's our biggest message of the Environmental Action Challenge. That was our call to action when we were out there, because people always want to know, it's like, what can I do to make a difference that's actually going to make a difference? You know, you hear about these, the big changes that are going on in the world from, a climate and environmental standpoint, and especially, recently with the spill in the Gulf, right? And you can think sometimes you can just feel so helpless. And our message out there was one of empowerment and one of hope, that really where we're at today is a result of small daily steps from everyday individuals like you and me. And so if we want to really turn things around, it's like Gandhi saying, of be the change that you want to see in the world. And that goes down to every single day of the small steps that you take that contributes more and more to the world that we want to create. So, if you want to learn what else that you can do, certainly go to our website at runforoneplanet.com. And we just ask everybody to choose one new thing that they're going to do for the health of the planet. It can be anywhere from, from our top 10, our list of top 10 action steps, like eliminating plastic bags and bringing your own bag, eliminating plastic bottles and bringing your own bottle, to using green cleaner and not using toxic chemicals, to choosing to eat more local and organic rather than fruit and other produce and food that was made halfway around the world, right? So, if it was inspiring, just, everybody can learn more about our website at runforoneplanet.com. And as I say, we are doing lots of presentations as well at mostly youth leadership conferences and events. So, if you want to have us at your school or at your conference, or, or if you wanted to come to an event that we're holding in your city.
Very interesting. And before we let you go, I was wondering if you'd like to participate in a 91.8 The Fan tradition.
Sounds good.
We know you're not a voice actor, but we ask everybody who comes on if they'd be willing to say a line for us.
Say a line, okay.
We basically ask if you could, we do this on air for the bloopers, just so you're warned, but we ask if you could say, my name is, I do this, and you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Okay, here we go. So my name is, I do this, and then you're tuned into 98.1 The Fan.
91.8.
Sorry, that's what I meant, 91.8 The Fan. Okay. Did I just go right into it?
Yep, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so my name is Stephanie Tait. I'm an ultra marathoner and green eco activist with Run for One Planet, and you are tuned in to 91.8 The Fan.
Hey, perfect. No bloopers or anything.
Awesome. There you go.
And I must say thank you so much for joining the show. Listening to your story and the trials you guys went through is very inspirational, and I appreciate you spreading the word here on 91.8.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for having me.
No problem. And for everybody out there, if you missed any of this interview, it'll be up on the website in the next few days, so keep it tuned to your favorite station. Everything you want, nothing you